Welcome to another great episode. We appreciate you being here. We have another great guest, Armida. Armida, tell us a little bit about yourself and what brings you to the industry.
Well, when I sold my first house, I had a really great realtor. And she was very nice, very professional, very made me feel real comfortable in the process. I bought my first house when I was 18,
Okay.
so I had it for 9 years. And so when I sold it, she was, she just inspired me. She just the way she did it, and I thought, well, I don't know, I'm going to go to real estate school, and that was about 20 years ago.
Okay.
And but I'm born and raised here, and fourth generation native here in Arizona. My father was City of Phoenix firefighter and Vietnam veteran, and we grew up in the West Valley. So that's where I mostly concentrate on, what I do, finding people new homes, and just trying to keep track with all the developments and all the builders out there. So I also did, I worked for lawyers for 20 years.
Lawyer's title?
No, lawyers.
Oh, lawyers.
Civil litigation lawyers. So I learned a lot with legal language, negotiation, contract disputes and stuff like that. So that really helps me with, understanding.
Especially dealing with builders, right? All that paperwork.
All the language, yes. Okay. I kind of like paperwork. I don't know, it's weird, but I don't know.
So when you're the agent that kind of inspired you, she sold you your home and also sold the home for you?
She sold my home, and the one that I purchased was a friend from our church who needed to move out of state. And, so it was just a God thing. Right? It was a God thing. They needed to sell, I needed to buy, and my home sold pretty fast. It was a good market at the time, so, but yeah.
So I'm always wondering, especially in that 9-year period, how often an agent keeps in touch with you. So I was wondering if she sold the home to you and then sold it for you. So, but how do you keep in touch with your people once they've sold, once you've kind of presented them their first, maybe many times their first home, correct?
Yeah.
How do you go about keeping in touch with them?
Yeah, well, every home that I sell or have any business with, really, friends, family, I just keep them on my mailing once a year at least, but I also, throughout the year, at least like 3 times, send them something in the mail or email, a message. So I don't like to forget about people, and just to, you get to know people with their family and what they're into, and a lot of times there's some common ground that you could, check up on. I have people that, make crafts, or, make salsa or something, that I need in my life.
Any reason to stay in touch, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. I think we were speaking a couple weeks ago about new builds, and you were speaking about some of the pitfalls that are happening right now. Will you kind of talk a little bit to that, some of the things you're seeing with new builds and what's going on?
Yeah. I also want to say that back when I first started too, I was mentored by the person that founded the New Home Concepts in the mall.
Okay.
When it was just a storefront store there that you can walk in, and all, Pulte, Richmond, all the builders had their, like an ad there. And then you could just while you're shopping for your clothes, you can shop for a house in the mall.
Interesting, right.
That was 1984. Wow. Yeah, Paradise Valley Mall. Okay. His name was Mark Arns, and he did that for quite a while, for almost like 10 years.
That's an interesting niche.
Yes, worked with the builders for that, and he also wanted to, incentivize the process where, he would tell the builders how much traffic all the malls were at that time, so to give him a reason to, advertise there.
Right.
But, the builders started to do their own thing. So he went and opened his own brokerage, which is New Home Information Center.
Okay.
So I ended up hanging my license there with him for a while, and really taught me a lot about, relationships with the builders. And he had it really good. Sometimes, the builders would come to his office.
Wow. Yeah,
and say, we'll get, right. And they would say, we'd give you 6%, just hand all our information here. You're the New Home Information Center. So that inspires me to be a New Home Information Center.
Now, so kind of the new Home Information Center.
Yes, yeah. So I'm always out and about looking for the deals, what the builders are doing, how they're selling, who they're selling, to, as far as, you got to get in line right now.
Okay.
Some builders are, having you be put in a drawing.
So what does that look like?
Yeah, so you get qualified with their lender, with the builder's lender, and then you, every week, they'll release, every 2 weeks, one builder in particular will release like 2 lots per week. And you got to be qualified, and then you tell them if you want to be entered in the drawing. So the drawing could be 40 people, 60 or 100 people in that drawing. So you just...
And are they bidding on it as well, bidding the price up, or is it just the price and then whoever picks?
One particular builder is having you bid on the smaller floor plans, the least expensive homes. I don't know why.
Wow.
So
maybe to avoid that home. I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah, so you're having to bid on that, and they are giving preference to not first-time buyers, but people that are going to be their primary residents, as opposed to an investor or cash buyers. So that is a really good aspect of buying new homes, is that you're going to be in the drawing. If you're qualified, you're going to be in the drawing, and you're not going to be put behind, the cash buyer or the investor that's just going to buy it to rent it out. Okay. So that helped me to help my client to say, that you're not going to be kind of outbid here.
Makes sense.
So
when once they're under contract, are the prices increasing now, or how do they do, how do they control that, I guess, the aspect of the building?
Right. Well, when you once you're qualified, once you do a contract on that price of that home, they've pretty much, some builders are speccing out. So they will add all their packages, their upgrades, and they've put it all in the price, including the lot premiums too, because that's another thing that some builders are doing. They are having you bid on the lot. Wow. So even before, not bidding on a floor plan, but you're bidding on the lot. Okay. So, and it goes to highest and best. I haven't seen what they're doing. Is it 5,000 over, 10,000 over what the builder has already set as a premium? And it could be between 5,000 and 10,000 per lot, a premium.
Wow.
So, and that has to be tacked on to your base price. Okay. So, and that's, surprise, that's Buckeye. That's not just, in certain areas. So it's just builder specific on what they're doing. Okay. And that's where I go and research and find this all out once I have a buyer and I know what they could, qualify for, what their time frame is. And speaking of time frame, build time is a little longer right now.
How long are we thinking here?
It used to be 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Now it's about 8 to 10.
Okay. So are you putting people like in a rental for now, and once they're up, you're getting the home done?
Yeah, it depends on what their situation is. If they're a first-time buyer, usually if they're already in a rental or they're living with family, if they have a home to sell, the other thing too, a solution for that is they can participate in the knock program.
Okay.
That HomeSmart is contracted with knock,
Okay.
which is, have you heard of knock?
Yeah. If you mind just talking to it, have you used it at all? Or?
No, not yet. I'm excited to, because I know that it's up to 6 months that knock will allow the seller to stay in the home and go buy another one.
That's a good little thing. Yeah.
Yeah, with that 6 month time frame though, with the build time, they're having to stay in the home longer, and knock is allowing them to lease it back to them.
Okay.
So they're changing and adapting to what our industry is, because of the build time. I don't know, the shortage of workers, the cost of labor, I don't know, all that stuff. I hear different things of why our prices are the way they are and why they're taking, the time that they're taking. So, but yeah, so.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It's pretty informative and handy. So I think as a buyer, you don't want to be going around, jumping around to all these builders trying to figure out who's doing what and what has to offer. So it's great solution.
Yeah.
So tell me, when you're a little girl growing up in the valley, did you think that that's what you'd be doing, trying to find people homes, or what was your idea of a dream job? Yeah.
I'm living the dream, Marlo.
Okay, all right. So you did dream of this.
No, that's funny. I always wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
And I feel in a lot of ways it's education. You're teaching people, how to be make informed decisions.
Right.
And be informed and know what you're walking into. A lot of people don't know buying a new home. And that's the other thing too, is a lot of people don't know that it doesn't cost to have a realtor represent you with the builder.
I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah, people don't know, and people think, oh, I don't need a realtor because it's going to cost me more money than I have to save all this money to buy a new house. No. Most times, and times are changing a little bit with what the builders are paying, and some builders are not paying at all. But we all know that, and it's not going to stop me from, allowing somebody to, connecting somebody to a home. It never has, but to have somebody with all the education to know what the builder's doing, what they require, what the time frame is, what you have to do to get in on the list, the wait list, the drawing, the lottery, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. So that is, why wouldn't you have a representative?
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So in your dream of teaching, was it a teacher that reached you in that way, or you just felt that was where you wanted to go?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just always, inside me. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, who inspired you most growing up?
Oh gosh, I guess I had a lot of good teachers and mentors in my life.
Anyone in particular that sent you on the way and you're like, man, I couldn't have been who I am without that person?
Oh, my business teacher at Metro Tech.
Okay. Well, what was that? What was that person like?
She was very, very instructive, very made you responsible, and had you take your class serious. Administrative support is what the class was. So it was just clerical, typing, business letters, language, spelling, everything that you needed to do to, work in an office. And yeah, Ellen Irving Furch is her name. So I've tried to find her, so if you're watching.
I hope you are. Yeah. I always think it's so interesting where we find light, where we find hope and things in a clerical class, right? That you can find that there. So, I always think that's fascinating.
Yeah, she would always sign me up. I went to a couple of FBLA conferences, Future Business Leaders of America.
Okay.
So that was in high school. It was fun. I mean, it was just about your skills and test scores and your commitment to learn, the class and get good grade and, I don't know, show some leadership skills.
Awesome.
It was fun.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. So I guess just thinking about, your business and what drives you and who you are. Do you kind of have a driving philosophy, or what would that be for you, and something that you're always teaching people, I guess, or you're always saying?
I'm real big on just self-sufficiency.
Okay. What do
To
you
be
mean by that?
to be independent, learn as much as you can. Skills pay the bills. Some people say. But when you find something that you really like and you flow in, you have just a natural gift. I have a natural gift for just, knowledge and research, so that you can, I don't know, my mind works kind of like an engineer sometimes. I need to know how the whole wheel turns so that I could know what aspects and what timing of to do things and put things into execution, plan it and then, do the execution of it. So that's why I know that people, once you know what you're good at, it's just going to come natural, and it's going to actually not feel like work and be fun. When you told me about this interview, I said, "Is it fun?" And you said, "Yeah, it's going to be fun."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, if I don't want to do it, it's not fun."
Of course, it's fun. So you seem like a pretty, actually methodical person and thoughtful. Do you consider yourself adventurous? What would be the most, I guess, crazy thing that you feel like you've done?
Oh gosh. Legally or illegally?
It could be people ask that question. I'm like, if someone asked me that, I'd probably go with something that was very interesting.
No, I think the scariest thing I've done was go on a ride at Knott's Berry Farm, the one that goes all the way up and then drops you.
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that farm or the
Knott's Berry Farm. Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but that was probably the scariest thing that I've done.
Okay. Do you travel much? You get out of the?
No, but I would like to.
Okay. What's your dream destination?
Cabo.
Why? Why Cabo?
The water.
Okay.
Just the serenity of it, and just to go and. Because I've traveled to Mexico, but I haven't, seen the really nice parts of it, to enjoy the people, the culture, the food, and all that. Just to, I don't know. That's on my list, so.
Right. Okay. I haven't been there. I got to get out of the country myself, so.
Yeah.
That's on the list as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, do you have anything that you feel like you've regretted doing before, or anything looking back in your life you're like, man, I would change that if I can do that?
Oh wow! Now you're getting personal.
I've been trying to get personal this whole time.
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, I think I would have waited to, have a family.
Okay.
And pursued education.
Okay.
So I've kind of.
Were you very young at the time, or? Okay.
Yeah. So I think I would have. So it's just kind of backwards. When you do things backwards, you do everything, first, and then when you're older, you're like, oh, I need to, you realize you should have, got some education and grounded yourself a little more so that you can maybe handle some of life's adventures.
Right.
But yeah, and I wish I would have gone to played softball in school. I had scouts calling me for a full ride scholarship. I could have done 4 years.
So talk about that. What
That's
made you-
probably a big one. That's a big one. You know,
what made you not go? What was it?
to just stay home, just to not go anywhere else and just stay home and want a family.
Okay.
hmm
So no one was there you knew, just wanted to be home.
Yeah, well, because I was gonna get married, and so
Okay.
I had, everything planned out.
Right.
But
life happened, right?
yeah, I wish I would have gone and done the 4-year and played softball and experienced that.
I can feel
I
you
don't
on
know.
that. Yeah, I understand.
I don't know. My life would be different right now, but I think I would still be, independent and pursuing some type of, just entrepreneurship.
Right.
I think I would
Still doing pretty much still doing what you're doing anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have an end goal too. I don't. I like where I'm at. I hang my license at HomeSmart, but my end goal is to have my own brokerage. New Home Information Center.
I appreciate you sharing that.
New Home Information Center.
I love that.
In honor of my friend Mark.
That's awesome.
He's passed now, but he did great, and his concept and everything, and I don't know, he always took me under his wing and trusted me with a lot of his investment decisions and stuff. So I'm really close to his family, and I don't know, I always thought, I'm gonna do that, why not?
That's cool.
I don't know.
I'm rooting for you on that. I think that's a cool and neat idea. So awesome.
Yeah.
Do you get to read much?
I read the Bible every day.
Okay.
That is probably the most.
All right. Do you have a favorite scripture that you like? Would you mind sharing?
Yeah, Romans 8:28.
Okay, what's that say?
It is.
And it can be off the cuff. It doesn't need to be perfect.
All things work together for good to those that are called according to his purpose.
I like that.
Yes.
All things work out, right? They
I
do.
know. That's why. Yeah.
Eventually they do. They do. So cool.
Yeah, that's where you can be at peace.
I like that. All things eventually work out regardless. So thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. I appreciate you coming on and sharing a little bit of time with us today. Where can people find you at least for now, the information center? Where will we be able to find that?
Well, I have a Facebook business page, and it's called New Home Information Centers.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Can we call you?
Yes, 623-999-2244.
All right, easy enough. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and it was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you, and
Yeah.
just thank you. Appreciate it.